What's the first thing you think of when you hear the name Tony Romo? Could it be the botched hold against the Seahawks, he was injury prone, or the narrative that he's a choker or just not a winner? That has been the narrative around Tony Romo's career for as long as I could remember, and although he's done a very good job being a broadcaster, we don't appreciate Tony Romo the player as much as we should. Let's start with the numbers he put up. Here's Romo's numbers during his prime from 2006 to 2014. He played in 129 games, a quarterback record of 75-48, a 65% completion percentage, 258 passing yards average per game, 242 passing touchdowns, that would be 27 per season on average, and 110 total interceptions, which would be about 12 interceptions per season on average. Those are just the regular season numbers. Now let's look at the playoffs, where Romo has been called an underperformer for most of his career, but that narrative is truly false. In terms of playoff passer rating, Romo ranks 4th all-time, only trailing Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Drew Brees. His playoff passer rating beats out names like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Steve Young, and many others. Not too bad if you ask me. Now we'll go over his playoff performances by season and add some context to those as well. First we'll start in 2006, his first playoff start. Of course it was a game in Seattle that they lost, but Romo himself went 17 of 29 for 189 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. With 4 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the game at Seattle, Romo needed to get into field goal range to make up the 21-20 deficit. With Romo and some help from Julius Jones, the Cowboys were able to set up a 19-yard field goal to go up 23-21 with 1 minute and 19 seconds left to go. As most of us know, that play did not go as planned and Romo fumbled the hold and the Seahawks held on to win by 1 point. A tough way to end the season, especially for your first playoff game. But aside from that one play, Romo did what he was supposed to do and put his team in a position to win. It's funny how everybody brings up that botched hold, but nobody talks about how wide receiver Terry Glenn had a crucial fumble with 6 minutes to go, resulting in a safety and ultimately giving Seattle all the momentum the rest of the game. The next season, in 2007, the Cowboys went 13-3 in the regular season and Romo himself had a great year. Dallas had a round 1 bye and met with the New York Giants in the divisional round. This was that same Giants team that went on to beat the 18-0 Patriots, so I think we know what happened for Dallas. Romo himself went 18-36 for 201 yards, 1 touchdown, and of course a game-losing interception. Once again, the ball is in Romo's hands with time winding down, the game on the line, this time however needing a touchdown. On 4th and 11 with no timeouts remaining and 23 yards to go for a touchdown, Romo threw a game-losing interception. Now this is why you have to use context, because if this wasn't a desperation moment, then Romo never makes this throw and an interception is never added to his name. Unfortunately for him, he had to force this pass to the end zone and right into the waiting hands of R.W. McQuarters as the Giants would go on to the NFC Championship game. In 2009, in the wild card round against the Eagles, Romo shredded the Eagles defense for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the divisional round, it was off to Minnesota to play Brett Favre and the Vikings. Romo, however, did not play too well in this game, having 3 turnovers, 1 interception, 2 fumbles, and a quarterback rating of only 66. Romo was sacked 6 times and kicker Sean Swisham missed 2 field goals as well. Tough to put that loss on one guy, to be honest. The Vikings went on to win that game 34-3, advancing to the NFC Championship game. In 2010, Romo only played in 6 games, and then from 2011 to 2013, the Cowboys rattled off 3 straight 8-8 seasons, which did not result in a playoff appearance. In 2014, which ended up being Romo's last playoff appearance, in the wildcard round against Detroit, Romo had a nice performance with 293 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 114. His final career playoff start was the Des Cauditt game, but Romo himself did not do that bad at going 15 of 19 for 2 touchdowns and a quarterback rating of 143. Now back to the whole context thing, we had the Cowboys on a 4th and 2, down 26-21 with just 4.5 minutes remaining. Romo delivered a jump ball to Des Bryant in a perfect spot that sure looked like a first down and goal on the Packers 1, but the Packers challenged the play and the refs, as we know, overturned the call, calling it an incomplete pass. A questionable call to say the least, and definitely a tough way to end your season. Romo's final playoff stats in 6 starts were a 2-4 record, an 8 touchdown to 2 interception ratio, 7.1 yards per attempt, and a quarterback rating of 93. Just for perspective, if you put Romo's playoff numbers over a full 16-game season, here's how it looks. 3,509 passing yards, 21 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 61% completion percentage, and also would have been sacked 58 times, which is a ridiculously high number. So no, I don't think it's fair to call the guy a quote-unquote underperformer or a quote-unquote choker based off these playoff games, because when you look deeper into it, he really wasn't that bad, and in some cases like the Dez non-catch and the botched field goal attempt, he was just incredibly unlucky. Here's another note against the he's not clutch argument. From 2006 to 2014, Romo led the NFL in the fourth quarter comebacks with 23 and game-winning drives with 27. Doesn't necessarily sound like a guy that's not clutch. He is also number 1 in NFL history in fourth quarter passer rating. After 2014, Romo's career was basically over after dealing with injuries and appearing in only 5 games over the next 2 seasons. He retired with a 78-49 record with 248 to 117 touchdown to interception ratio and a quarterback rating for his career of 97.1. He didn't have the best career, he wasn't even the best quarterback to replace Drew Bledsoe, but the undrafted free agent out of Eastern Illinois put together a career where you can make the argument of him going to Canton one day. He'll likely fall short of the Hall of Fame based on the lack of postseason success, but as I previously said, it's hard to blame just Romo for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to do more videos like this in the future. There's a certain wide receiver I wanted to shed some light on in the future, so maybe I'll do a video about him next. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.